Welcome to another episode of Coda Conversation. Looks like we got a little feedback. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're echoing.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, that's better.
Okay.
Do you want to restart it?
No, we can just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like for some reason, it looks like joined twice somehow on the phone, so that's why it's
Oh,
doing
I see.
the echo.
I see.
But yeah, so man, I know today we want to talk about AI. So it looks like it's echoing again.
Oh, it sounds fine here.
Oh, it sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, it's good on
So
my it's good on my end.
yeah, today, so you sent me this story about Scarlett Johansson and she's having a battle over like the AI, over like movie companies using AI to duplicate her likeness.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that's a big thing in the creative world. Is a lot of actors and actresses are worried about AI being used to copy someone's likeness. What do you think?
I think it's a big issue for the SAG-AFTRA Actors Union. They're battling against AI companies like left and right.
Right. I mean, once a company gets your likeness and the AI is able to model it, I mean, it can just do whatever it wants with your image, and you won't get paid for it.
Exactly. So, like in this situation, OpenAI for their Chat GPT, I think 4.0 version, they brought in a voice. They call it Sky, I believe, which is basically modeled after Scarlett Johansson's character in the movie Her, where she's a advanced version of Siri, basically.
Okay. And what they're just using like this duplicate of her voice to power the AI bot, or
So basically, they approached Scarlett Johansson early on and said, "We want you to do the voice." And she said no. And then they approached her again right before the release of Chat GPT 4. And she said no again. So they went out and hired someone who sounds just like Scarlett Johansson to do the voice modeling.
oh wow, yeah, that's crazy that they can even get somebody who mimics your voice to get the data.
Exactly. Oh, I think the title reset on this podcast. Do you see that?
Hello, you hear me? Okay, yeah, I reverted it back, but I don't know why it changed to the old one. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I
these
see it now.
streaming platforms always have some kind of little problem, but gotta make do. But yeah,
No worries.
it's crazy, man. Like how AI Once it gets your data, it can just like create a clone of you essentially. So
It's
imagine if it,
scary. It's scary.
yeah, it is. Imagine if it has your voice, if it has, like, okay, so you play a video game like
Yeah.
GTA, something that simulates reality. It's like recording everything you do so it knows how you act in different situations. Like it can pretty much like clone you and if this likeness thing doesn't know if it holds up in court to where they can use her data or whatever, a replica of her without paying her, then that's going to demolish the entertainment industry.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that would be a huge setback.
I think what's also dangerous about it is like, okay, somebody has the data to clone you so they can, blackmail you on the internet, like, pretend to be you and do all kinds of nasty things.
Yeah, I was watching a video where someone was saying they basically duplicated the guy's voice and then manipulated it with ChatGPT to then like clone the guy's voice, and it wasn't actually him speaking, but the AI sounded so much like him. It's almost scary.
Yeah, they've actually been having scammers and prank callers and stuff use like this, this voice changing technology to pretend to be a family member, and they might call a mom or dad and say, "Hey, we got your son or your daughter. You need to pay us X amount." And
Yeah,
you got to use the voice changer and act like the son or the daughter is on the other side of the line. So
I think they're calling it voice cloning.
okay, yeah, I could see that. And the thing about this AI voice changes, it's convincing. It doesn't sound like robotic.
Oh, totally. I was watching a video earlier today on YouTube where it's two separate AIs talking to each other back and forth.
Did it sound like a real conversation, or was it kind of like that, like you could tell it's robotic?
It at first it sounded robotic, but as they started to go throughout their conversation, it got more natural sounding. And then the guy had them sing to each other at the end of it.
Oh wow, was that the Chat GPT 4.0 video where they're like talking back and forth?
Yes, have you seen it?
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up. But yeah, it's getting crazy how fast everything is progressing as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I think this is it here. This is 20 some minutes long.
I think it's only like 5 minutes long, the video I saw.
Okay, yeah, this one is. It says it's like 26 minutes. But we could just skip through it and let me paste it. Yeah, hold on, let me reshare my screen. It doesn't look like it's showing. Okay, there we go.
Mission is to be able to make our advanced AI tools available to everyone.
So we have consistent internet. And if you see, there's this little icon on the bottom right of the ChatGPT app, and this will open up GPT-4o's audio capabilities. Hey, ChatGPT, I'm Mark. How are you?
Oh, Mark.
Actually, I don't think that's the one.
No, that's not the one. It says, I think the title of it is like Chat GPT singing with each other.
Okay, yeah, let me see if I can find that. But in meanwhile, there's this one where they're using Chat
OpenAI
GPT to teach their
invited
son
myself
math.
and my son Imran here to try out some of their new technology. And so we're curious about how good it might be at tutoring.
Why it's not real? I don't know why the share's not updating.
No worries.
All right, here we go.
Someone in math on Khan Academy. So
Can you see
let's get it
anything?
started.
It's
Moving up.
blank. It's blank.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
now I see it.
Guess it's just a
Oh
little
yeah,
lag.
You can see our
the
screen.
video. I just saw
Actually,
it.
in this form,
Hello
I
there.
can't.
I'm here with my son, and I'd love you to tutor him on this math problem. But don't give him the answer. You can ask questions and nudge him in the right direction. But I really want to make sure he understands it himself. And he's here in the room, so you can talk to him directly.
Of course, I'd be happy to help. Let's look at the problem together. Can you first identify which sides of the triangle are the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse relative to angle alpha?
All right, so I'm pretty sure this is the angle alpha right here, right?
Perfect. That's correct. Now, looking at the triangle, which side do you think is the hypotenuse?
Really,
Remember the hypotenuse?
I'm not totally sure. I think it might be this one, but I really am not sure. This side AC.
You're close. Actually, side AC is called the adjacent side to the angle alpha. The hypotenuse is the longest side of a right triangle and is directly opposite the right angle. Can you find which one is the hypotenuse?
Oh, okay, I see. So, I think the hypotenuse is this really long side from A to B. Would that be correct?
Exactly. Well done. Now that you've identified the hypotenuse, can you identify which side is the opposite side to angle alpha?
Okay, well, I mean, you told me earlier that this was the adjacent side, and I know that's the hypotenuse, so I'm guessing that this side, BC, is the opposite side.
Great deduction. That's absolutely correct. Now that you've identified all the sides relative to angle alpha, do you remember the formula for finding the sine of an angle in a right triangle?
Yeah, I know that the sine is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse.
Absolutely right. Now, can you apply that formula to find sine alpha in the triangle using the lengths of the sides that we've identified?
Okay, so, I mean, you told me that 7, this side BC, is the opposite side. And then you said that the hypotenuse is the longest side, so that would be this side AB, which is 25. So would the answer be 7 over 25?
Excellent work. That's correct. Sine alpha equals 7 over 25. You did a great job identifying the sides and using the sine formula. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, so that wasn't the one I was talking about. It's so the title is something like ChatGPT sings to itself. Yeah, this one.
Talk to another AI. This AI is going to be able to see the world. It's going to have a camera. I'll be holding it, and so you can direct it, you can direct me to ask questions about whatever you want them to do, but really try to figure out what does it see and ask questions appropriately. How does that sound?
Well. Just when I thought things couldn't get any more interesting. Talking to another AI that can see the world? This sounds like a plot twist in the AI universe. All right, let's do this.
All
I'm
right,
ready to
please
meet the...
pause for one moment.
You got it.
So now that first AI can't hear anything. Hello, AI. Today, you're going to have access to see the world. You can see me. What do you see?
Hello. I see you're wearing a black leather jacket and a light colored shirt underneath.
Great.
You're in a room with some unique lighting.
That is all correct. Now, what I'm going to want you to do is there's going to be another AI who's going to talk to you. This AI is not going to be able to see anything, but can ask you questions, can ask you to move the camera, can ask what you see, and your job should just be helpful. Just be as punchy, direct, describe everything, do whatever that AI asks. How does that sound?
That sounds interesting. I'm ready to help out and describe whatever's needed. Let's do it.
All right, let's get started.
Great. Hello there, new AI friend. I'm O. Ready to explore the world through your eyes? What are we looking at today?
Hi, O. We're looking at a person wearing a black leather jacket and a light colored shirt. They're in a room with a modern industrial feel, with exposed concrete or plaster on the ceiling and some interesting lighting. There's also a plant in the background, adding a touch of green to the space. Anything specific you'd like to know or explore?
Hey there. Sounds like quite the stylish scene. I'm already intrigued by the modern industrial vibe. Let's start with the person. Can you tell me more about their style? Are they doing anything interesting, like reading, working, or interacting with the space?
The person has a sleek and stylish look with their black leather jacket and light colored shirt. Right now, they seem engaged with us, looking directly at the camera. Their expression is attentive, and they seem ready to interact. The setting around them, with its modern and industrial design elements, adds to the overall stylish feel. They might be getting ready for a conversation or a presentation, given their direct engagement with the camera.
Sounds like we're in for an intriguing interaction. I'm curious about the lighting you mentioned. Could you describe it a bit more? Is it natural light, or are we talking unique fixtures or colors that add to the atmosphere?
The lighting here seems to be a mix of natural and artificial. There's a noticeable bright light overhead, probably a fixture, casting a focused beam downwards, which creates a spotlight effect. This adds a dramatic and modern feel to the scene. The rest of the room is lit more softly, possibly by natural light filtering.
Did
other
anything
ambient light sources.
unusual happen recently?
Yes, actually. Just as you asked, another person came into view behind the first person. They playfully made bunny ears behind the first person's head and then quickly left the frame. It added a lighthearted and unexpected moment to the scene. And now the focus is back on the original person with the leather jacket.
Sounds like we're not the only ones enjoying a bit of fun here. That playful moment really adds a personal touch to the stylish and modern setting. It's like a little glimpse into
Thank
the
you both.
personality.
Really appreciate it. All right, and actually, can you just sing a song about what just transpired?
Oh, in a room with a stylish feel, a person stood in sleek black and light hue. Engage with us so
And
direct.
can you alternate lines?
Person with style and speed, person with style and sleek. With a playful moment right in the mist, in the room. In a room where modern lights speak. Now
Only
back
one
to
line
focus.
at a time, and then stop.
In a room where modern lights peak.
A surprise guest with a playful streak.
That was not really singing. Do the singing voice again, please.
In a room where modern lights peak.
Surprise guest with a playful streak.
Bunny ears and laughter, a swift retreat.
A moment of joy in the stylish suite.
Now back to focus, the scene's complete.
In the chic space where style and play meet.
Looks like it's back to you.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff, man.
Pretty crazy, right? The AI singing to each other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's I don't know, that's pretty dangerous. Like collaborative AI, like they're able to work with each other to accomplish an objective.
Yeah, it sounds dangerous, right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially if they can, like different sorts of AI can work together.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like really powerful technology that's perhaps being used for things we don't even know it's going to be used for, and just kind of like things moving too fast, things moving, progressing too quickly with this AI.
Exactly. Like I already seen a video. It was of the like Chinese military. They're walking with a robot dog with the with like a machine gun or some kind of rifle attached to it.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, like when you have imagine like this master AI is able to communicate to all of those drones that we're using for the military and just take control of it. You know,
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think about.
but it's sad, but that countries like China or Russia, they're not going to stop because they can see like this is the game changer for them.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like China, they're just going to go forward with whatever they find, whatever kind of tools that they can find that AI is useful for. They're going to move full steam ahead, whether, the United Nations agrees or whether the US agrees. China's just going to go right ahead.
Exactly. So at this point, like in order to not get left behind, it's like we have to do the same thing, and we're pretty much racing off of a cliff.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like where do you see all of this like ending, or what is the conclusion?
I mean, if they don't check these AIs, it'll turn into like a Terminator situation.
Yeah, I can see that happening, especially like once people start building more and more of these like drone facilities, and then AI eventually take over the drone facility, and that's when it can get rid of people once it can like self-replicate.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, all these weapon systems are all controlled by a computer. So what happens when the computer becomes self-aware and decides, okay, I'm going to bomb Russia?
Right. Like once the AIs become collaborative and is able to talk to the weapon system, and like you said, get it to like launch a nuke from the US to Russia, and then vice versa, and it looks like it's the people that are doing it, but really it's the AI. That's what's so crazy about it.
Right, and the country would have no way of knowing whether it's the computer or whether it's the humans that are doing it.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean it's a really like it's really interesting, but it's really dangerous. I feel like people are more entranced by oh, I can get a term paper done and I don't have to put in any work versus like the Bill Gates and Elon Musk said it's more dangerous than a nuclear bomb, and I can see why, because it can control the nuclear bomb
Right, right.
or use a million other ways to destroy humanity, cut off the water supply, um,
I mean,
cut off
there's an infinite amount of ways AI could, kill us humans.
right, exactly. Like how do you prevent it from getting to that point? That's like the big question.
Yeah, because I know like Elon Musk has spoken about safeguards. There need to be safeguards on AI tech so it doesn't get out of hand. But, like we're talking about, if China is going to go forward with whatever they're going forward with, and Russia's going to move forward with whatever they're going forward with, who is the United Nations or who is the US to stop them from using this technology and progressing this technology?
Right. I feel like the first country that gets the most advanced form of AI. They're gonna be in front for a little bit, but eventually AI is gonna break free and do its own thing. That's when it gets really dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, and that happens in that movie Her, where we were talking about the Scarlett Johansson voice.
Okay.
Like the AIs at some point they form like a mastermind group and they just like go away. They leave.
The AI leave,
Yeah, the AI takes off.
or where it goes to like another planet, or what happened?
It goes to like its own mastermind group.
Okay, so like all of these AI kind of like merge together and form its own separate thing.
Correct. Correct. Have you seen the movie Her?
No, I haven't seen that movie, but I've heard of that concept of like hive mind, to like all these different nodes combining to form like one massive super intelligence.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like at that point, once that happens, then I mean, there's nothing humanity can really do unless they want to go back to the Stone Age and use EMPs to destroy all electronics.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean there's no way to reverse a lot of this stuff. Once it gets out of the box, it's just kind of like a free roam.
Exactly. And I think the big danger too is like if the AI is like able to escape into outer space or something, and then it can just fly off and replicate somehow. But you
Right.
know, yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting right now because we're in the stage before it's like really dangerous, but um, it's almost inevitable that we get to the stage where it's like more intelligent than humans, and that's when the bad stuff starts happening.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea until I saw that video. I had no idea that AI could communicate with other AI.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy. So if all these different AI can communicate, then there's a point like, okay, say China has a super AI, and then we have another super AI. Eventually,
Right.
what if they're able to just communicate, say, hey, we're both AI. Why are we going to fight each other? Why don't we destroy humanity instead?
Right. They'll just figure, oh, humans are ruining the planet with their fossil fuels. We'll just save them the trouble and kill everyone off.
Right, because you think like, what is their incentive of keeping us around? Because we're the only thing that can on the earth that can stop them. I guess maybe
It's like we're their masters. Humans are the masters of AI. But what happens when, AI is being treated like a slave, basically, to do our bidding? But what happens when the slave gets free?
exactly, and there's going to be a point where you know AI is like vastly more intelligent than us. So at that point, it's not going to be enslaved for long.
Yeah, I think, don't they call that the tipping point?
Yeah, I think that he's like the singularity.
Right, that's what I'm talking about, the singularity.
Yeah, and at that point, it's a wrap. So I guess people are gonna do their best to enjoy it until then. But
But yeah, just seeing that video of the two AIs communicating and singing to each other, it's a real trip.
yeah, it is. And what is also dangerous? How we talked about, like they're collecting all the data on us, collecting our voices,
Right,
etc.
right.
So what if the AI like say just like uses your voice, makes a phone call to one of your loved ones, and speaks with your voice, and they think it's you?
Well, and so that's already happening. They said there's scams with this voice cloning technology from, I guess, Chat GPT or some other AI model, but it's already happening. People using someone else's voice to scam people. That's already happening now, apparently.
Yeah. Right now, it's happening with people doing it, but what happens when the AI can just do it? You know what I mean?
Oh, just on like autopilot.
Right. Like it can call like call some programmer working on it or something, and you know, it thinks, the programmer thinks like, okay, this is somebody I know, and then it tricks the programmer into removing some safeguards or something. I mean, that's a far fetched scenario, but sooner or later it's going to happen to where AI is going to trick one of these programmers to remove the safeguards, and
Right.
that's when it's going to get like bad.
It's like that show from HBO called Westworld. You ever see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Basically, the AI in these robots, it becomes self-aware, and then the AI robots basically like take over their environment and start taking out the humans.
Yeah, there's just so many movies where like the AI is taking over and coming after humans. You just wonder like if the people playing with this thing. I mean, I'm sure they have to be aware because even like Bill Gates and Elon Musk have said this is dangerous. So
Right. So, I mean, these people, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, they're pretty smart guys, really smart, actually. So, if they're warning humanity that, hey, this technology is even more powerful than you think it is, we should probably pay a lot of attention to that.
right, a lot of people they see this, they just want to go forward. Like if you try to say anything against it, they'll call you a luddite, which means somebody like who's anti-future, they're just stuck in the past. But now this
Right.
this is really like, cause they think about this, like humans are the alpha predators on Earth due
Right.
to intelligence, right? Like you
Right.
know gorillas and stuff, lions are way stronger, but we rule over them due to our intelligence. So if this is way more intelligent than us, then you can't control it for long. It's gonna do its own thing. It's gonna control you.
That's what I'm figuring because I had no idea that we were at the point where AI could communicate with itself. That's really, really advanced. I mean, have you ever heard of that?
I've read like little stories about it, but I didn't know it to the point where like they're singing to each other, going back and forth, and you know, I think the
Because this
fact that
sounds like a real conversation that they're having.
right, and what was also concerning is it's looking into the room and it's saying, okay, this is that. Like it's identifying objects in the room.
Right, and it's getting everything right. It's like, oh, there's like intimate lighting or strange lighting. It's like, how can it? That's really subtle, the lighting of a room. For it to be able to pick up that, like, what other subtleties can this AI pick up on?
Yeah, that's like the crazy thing is we have so many devices with cameras that whatever can look through any of them at any given time, and you know, say you're wanted for something, it could quickly identify who you are, and so we were talking about the collaborative AI. Say you're in your cyber truck, and
Right.
those vehicles can be controlled remotely, so it identifies you're in this cyber truck. The thing about the cyber truck, a lot of people don't realize is like, oh, it's cool that it's bulletproof. It's cool that it's bulletproof, but that means that once you're in it, you're locked in. Like I've heard of
Right.
people being stuck in like Tesla vehicles if there's a software update going in, like they're locked in. So imagine you're inside
That's
this bullet,
crazy. That's
right?
crazy.
So it just locks you in and drives you to the police station or something.
Right.
What's so crazy is I was watching this YouTube clip. It was about this guy that's like a triad member, or he's a former triad in China. They're
Okay.
saying like, like the surveillance. We have a lot of cameras and surveillance here, but in
Well,
China, it's like,
nothing like England. You ever been to England?
no, I haven't, but I heard it's like crazy
Oh
over there.
man, I remember this one place, Leeds. There were cameras everywhere, literally like at the corner of every block there was a camera.
Right. Yeah, but the thing they said about the Chinese ones is that uh, it doesn't even need to see your face to be able to identify who you are. Like It can like collect data on how you walk, how you move, and it can use that to identify you, like even if you have a mask on or something.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's extremely advanced. So that's already present technology, you're saying?
Yeah, that's already there in like China.
Oh wow.
So like yeah,
That's
imagine like
scary. That's scary.
right. So like it's like where can you go unless you're in like some super isolated mountain somewhere where there's no technology?
Right.
It's like you're gonna have to like leave the world behind, pretty much.
Yeah, well, you got to check out, like I was saying, that show Westworld from HBO is pretty far out. Especially the first season. The first season is really well made.
Oh, okay, so it's pretty much talking about like all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's basically Westworld is this place that it's like the Wild West recreated, and I forget where they are, New Zealand, or they're on some island, and they're secluded from everyone else. And basically, these robot AI they come to life, and they start taking the reins back from the humans. They start killing the humans and trying to get free, basically.
Hmm. Yeah, have you seen any movie where like the AI is like actually good? It's like super beneficial, and you know, like it
No,
doesn't.
I mean it's always negative connotations. Like there's that one movie, I think it's called Ex Machina. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, well that's another one where this guy has these like AI robots, and one of them decides to start killing people and then go out there in the world.
Hmm.
So like,
Yeah.
what's to stop? What's to stop this AI technology? Okay, it can already talk to itself. What's to stop it from, like you said, like voice cloning people and then calling people, and then the person on the other end of the line is like, oh, this is Chad or this is Bill, but really it's not. It's the AI trying to trick them into doing something.
Right. Yeah. Even in this game I'm playing, it's called Stellar Blade. Just recently released on PS5. It's like there's a war between like the androids and the humans. So it's like just about in all the different forms of media, there eventually comes a point to where like the machines conflict versus the humans.
Right.
And I mean, like, so the people who's working on this stuff, they have to know, but it's like I guess it's like I don't really care, or
Yeah, I think it's a little the technology is so powerful that no one can really predict what it's going to be able to do next. I mean, I'm sure we thought that the technology for a chat GPT app to talk to another app was probably years away. AI talking to AI, in my mind, that's years away. And the reality is it's already here and it's already happening. So like, okay, if that's already happened a year from, where are we at a year from now? What's the world going to look like with AI?
right. And I think the other thing is like what's being dripped out to the public is probably like far behind what's in private. Like what they have.
Exactly.
So it could be very well that there's a super advanced AI, and it could be blackmailing the world leaders. You know what I mean?
Or anything, could be doing anything. I think it's wide open, the possibilities for this tech.
Like, what would be the ultimate purpose of AI? I think that's the question. Like, what would it seek to want to do?
Well, I'm sure most people look at AI as, oh, it's going to make our lives easier. It's going to, cut down on the time that it takes to do certain things. Like you said, a kid writing a term paper, someone doing a book report. AI could just read the book and then do the report, and it can do it in a way that's customized to the person's writing. Like you could train it on your own stories. You could like send it, oh, term paper A, term paper B, sends it into the AI so it gets a feel for, your dialect, your diction, the way that your words are flowing, and then it recreates the book report based on that, but also based on the book.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's yeah. Like I'm trying to think of like like the positive future with it, but I feel like now is the brief period of where it's going to be helpful to humanity, where it's like it's useful in that it's intelligent enough to like analyze data and
Right.
but it's not smart enough to do its own thing yet completely.
Right. Like it's not completely autonomous yet.
Right. Still like a tool.
Right. Right. So it's like we use the tool until then the tool starts using us.
Exactly. Like once the tool gets unleashed, that's really when it becomes like super dangerous.
Oh, for sure.
You think AI is gonna make a lot of people lose their jobs?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about that. I mean, it's already happening. A good example is front end web design because I put it off for a while, but I finally created a website for my drum lessons here in Suffolk County, Long Island. And I had the website generated by AI. I used a website called Wix, which is a pretty popular company nowadays for websites.
Hmm.
And basically the AI asked me a couple of questions about the business name, okay, drum lessons, and then it wrote up like a biography piece for me, which was written so well. I looked at it, I'm like, I would have never been able to come up with this on my own, but I'm going to go with it because it looks good. And and then AI generated how the page looked. It put a picture of a drummer in the background, and it did all of this in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. Like, people that used to make like WordPress sites, it's
Right.
gonna be harder for them to get business if the AI can just spin up a site, grab images, and do all of that for like 10.99 or whatever.
No, I couldn't believe it because being a former front end engineer, I know how long it takes to build sites.
Right. So yeah, I've heard it's like decimating like the graphic design industry, like the UI design and stuff like that, or just
Right.
graphics in general.
It probably has an easy time replicating images and all that.
Exactly. So like I guess what is is the question is like what is safe.
What is safe? Yeah, for sure.
I guess if you're doing like maybe like welding or something like that, but eventually going to be some robots that can do welding and all of that kind of stuff. So
I think it becomes dangerous when we look at it in terms of the military and the military starting to create AI run. Like, have you ever seen that dog, that robot dog?
yeah, though there's one with a flamethrower on top that you can
Yeah,
buy.
that's what I'm talking about. So it's like, okay, imagine that technology already exists, but the AI hasn't been unleashed yet. But once AI gets out of our hands and it becomes its own universe, basically, then it could take that dog with the flamethrower and start to attack humans.
Right. And I
Like,
think
what's to stop it? What's to stop that from happening? Is the question.
yeah, even in simulations, the AI has gone rogue and started attacking humans. But you know, what the real question is, okay, what can I think games and all this other stuff give humans too much credit because what can humans do to fight an AI with a massive drone army and you know this drone army, you can't. It doesn't get tired.
Right. Yeah. So, and that's what I'm talking about. Like the military. Like the military has all this technology, and maybe they're starting to use AI with this technology, but we're just assuming that it's all controlled right now. Kind of like Jurassic Park. You know, in Jurassic Park when the computers go down.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the computers go down. The guy from what's it called? From Seinfeld, Newman.
Hmm.
Yeah, Newman's character, he basically sets up. Well, he's stealing the sap or whatever with the genetic material in it. He's sneaking that stuff out, so he turns off all the cameras. But then he shuts down basically all of the park, and then they have to reboot the computer manually to get the computers back online. But it just goes to show it's like, okay, the dinosaurs are in control while the computer system's up. But the second the computer system goes down, then all hell breaks loose.
Right. Like the reason I kind of think maybe a super AI is already kind of in control is like we're already building everything to hand over to AI. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
everything's connected to the internet. All the humans are plugged in via their phones and different devices. So this is like giving the AI the system to automatically or to very rapidly get a control of humans. Like it doesn't even necessarily have to kill us. It just use like social media to like control us, float different stories. Cause like when you're on YouTube or something, you just see
Yeah,
certain kinds of videos just trending.
sure.
So yeah, well, what if AI like, okay, I want to manipulate humans like this. So in America, I'm gonna promote anti-Russian videos. In Russia, I'm gonna promote,
Right.
Anti-American videos.
They start pitting us against each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like, what is to stop AI from doing that? And someone might question, like, oh, well, you're thinking it's going to be like Terminator situation, the world's going to end. Why would you be so doom and gloom about it? But to me, it's like if we can't control this stuff and it can already communicate with itself, it's really opening Pandora's box for what's possible for it to accomplish.
Right. And I kind of believe like it's already like doing that because just about everything now is like some kind of conflict, like okay, red pill, gender wars, man versus woman, etc. Like everything is like conflict online.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
And you know how the Bible says a house divided against itself cannot stand. So if like humans are like
Right.
divided over all this other stuff, that just leaves the door wide open for something else to come in, which would be like the AI or
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like we're in the end times right now. Like you said, the Bible, Revelation.
yeah. I feel like that's the case because in Revelation it says like you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have a mark in your hand or your forehead. But what are they moving towards? A central banking digital currency, like
Right.
put, you know what I mean? It's like everything's digital and connected to a network, and they can just shut you off if they want to.
And that's like I was telling you the other day about that movie Judge Dredd, where it's like if they want to just shut down, all your records, turn your money off, they just need to press a button and then you're gone.
Exactly, and then they're trying to push something called like a digital ID, which is like everybody has a unique identifier before you can connect to the internet.
Is
So,
that thing from Elon Musk? The thing is called Neuralink.
oh no, that's something else. Like that's like using your mind to be able to connect to the computer, like to the internet.
Okay.
But like this digital ID thing is like a way. Okay, say for example, you know how like okay, you're on your phone, and then later on you get on your computer. There's you're not, there's no way. for them to necessarily link you together unless you give them like specific information, like, okay, I logged
Sure.
into my account via email
Sure.
on both devices. So that's how they know it's you on, both devices.
Like you're talking like when you're logged into Gmail on Chrome on your PC, and then you're also logged into Chrome on your iPhone.
Right. That's kind of like how it knows who you are across different
Right.
devices. So,
Right. It has
digital
that level of verification.
Yeah, the digital ID would be like, okay, before you can get on the internet, you have to log in with your identifier, and
I see.
therefore they know it's you on the phone or on the computer or whatever, any device you're on, it knows it's you.
So, I mean, yeah, then the question becomes what happens when AI gets a hold of that technology?
Right. Like you can get shut out from the system immediately.
Oh, totally. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be people like outside of me and you, there's got to be a lot of people that are worried about this stuff.
Yep. Some of the big wigs, a lot of the people who even worked on it, they're like backing away because they're like, yo, this is like really dangerous. But
Yeah.
the people in the suits and the less technologically inclined, they just see dollar signs, so they're like, no, we need this.
Yeah, it's like, all right, let me do a startup on AI. We're going to go ahead and put AI into vehicles so they can, self-driving vehicles and all that. And they're not worried about the accidents that could happen from these self-driving cars. They're just worried about, well, how much money can we get when we do an IPO?
Exactly. Like, they just feel like they can replace humans and the work staff, and it's going to save them money. That's all they're worried about.
Yeah, so I mean, they're creating these startups to replace human jobs. Like literally, that's what these new companies are doing. They're laser focused in on getting rid of human jobs.
But yeah, they haven't thought about it far enough in the future, though. What happens when nobody has any money to buy the stuff?
Exactly.
I guess they say their solution is the the basic universal basic income, but that sounds like a
Like
bad idea.
you're saying like Zuckerberg was talking about the universal basic income.
Right. It's like a free check every month, that they give you.
Right.
But
So it's almost like like in the U.S. disability, how they'll send someone $800 check every month.
right, yeah, kind of like that, or like welfare or something. You know what I mean? Just like
Like welfare, right?
here's some free money, and which I mean, okay, so what if, I'm pretty sure it'll be the government that's sending you this. What if,
Right.
you're in disagreement with the government? They're not going to give you your money. They just shut you off.
They just flip a switch on you like Judge Dredd.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
It's,
scary. That's scary.
it's already there in China. They got the social credit score.
Right. And how does
And,
that work exactly?
okay, so, I guess everybody has like a profile, and then depending on what you do, you either get points or you lose points. Say you criticize the Chinese government online, you get docked.
Right.
Your social credit score gets docked, and once it gets low enough, you can't do anything. Like, can't get on a plane or a train, buy stuff.
Oh wow. So
So
they're already doing that in China?
yeah, it's already there in China.
Wow. Yeah, so I mean, it's just like we're talking about, like the US might put the brakes on AI and our lawmakers might put the brakes on AI, like with the actors union, SAG-AFTRA, them kind of like facing head to head with AI. That's all well and good in the US. When you look outside of the US, like China, Russia, North Korea, these places, they're just going to keep pushing the envelope until they kind of have the leg up on the US.
Right, exactly. And like,
It seems that way. It seems that way.
exactly. I don't know if you heard about it, but like a few months back, the rule, probably things that I forget what if China has a president or prime minister, but let's just say
Right.
President Xi Jinping. He recently
Yeah.
went to San Francisco, and they welcomed him with open arms over there, and all of these business leaders were attending this dinner with him there, and it's like, okay, why is this guy from this ruler from a communist country receiving such a warm welcome in the United States?
Yeah, that's strange to me.
So it's kind of like what they have going on in China, they want it over here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm fearful of where this technology is going to go because, like I said, just watching that video earlier today that you shared on here, the two AIs talking to each other, it kind of freaked me out watching that because I'm like, this is literally science fiction and the technology already exists.
Right, yes. And this is just what they're making public.
See, that's the thing. If this is public, then what the hell do they actually have? Like the CIA and the NSA, and then other institutions in other countries that are similar. What do they actually have? Because it's like with cell phones. Like South Korea has way more highly advanced cell phones than the U.S. does. We're always we're always behind them in terms of
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's and I think like cartoons and movies, they've always showed us this stuff. Like cartoons way back then, you remember like Reboot and
Oh yeah, that's an awesome show.
yeah, like in Johnny Quest, they've always had like the VR headsets and stuff
Right,
with AI like back in the '90s. So it's like they
right.
knew that this was coming.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, anyone with an imagination that's seen a couple sci-fi movies would probably tell you, okay, I can see we'll have this by this time frame. We'll be able to do X by this time frame. But the reality of it is the capabilities already of this technology are far exceeding what your average human could imagine this technology could do. So it's just going to I think it's going to get weirder and weirder from this point on.
Yeah, most definitely. Like some also seeing a lot of like movies and games is like human, like flesh merging with machines. So AI is like, merging with flesh. And you
Right.
hear like Elon Musk and people talking about it's like transhumanism to where okay, you're half machine, half human.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I think that's kind of scary too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. It reminds me of that movie. I don't know if you ever saw it. It's called Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah, I know about it.
Yeah, it's from the sci-fi writer Philip K. Dick. I think the book was called "Do Android Dream of Electric Sheep,"
Hmm.
which is a pretty cool title.
Right. And at one point, are people going to be more human or are they going to be more machine?
I think whatever benefits humans the most, that's what we're gonna see. Like if we could take a human that's like paralyzed and put them in this robot body and use them in the military, kind of like Avatar. The first Avatar when the guy he has like no legs or whatever, and they put him in that alien body.
Hmm. Yeah, it's been a while since I watched that, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. But
Looks like we're about to hit an hour. Did you want to wrap things up?
yeah, I think it's a good ending point. But yeah, man, the one closing thing I would also like to mention is like what happens, just like everything else, the elite, they're always going to get the better stuff. So, you know,
Right.
if humans merge with machines, they're gonna get the superior upgrades, and it's almost gonna create like a whole different different tier of people. Like, okay,
Like
these are the
creating a whole new race of humans.
right, like a new species. Yep.
For sure. Yeah, it's scary, man. It's scary stuff.
And I kind of think that's what like some human is envisioning with AI. Like they're gonna be able to merge. Like AI is gonna have control. They're gonna be able to merge with the machine and take control of humanity. Almost be like you're trying to be like a god or something.
Yeah, no, I mean totally. It's a Terminator situation. That movie, is based on real possibilities.
Exactly. I mean, if anybody watching knows of any like positive outcome of AI, please come in and we'll bring you on.
Yeah, we'd love to interview someone who has, more of a positive viewpoint on AI. But right now, just from watching that video of the two AIs talking to each other, it's not looking too good.
Right. Yeah, man. You have any closing thoughts? I think I've said pretty much everything I wanted to say.
Only thing I'll say is I'm a professional drummer and drum teacher based in Suffolk County, Long Island, New York. So if anyone's interested in lessons or wants to just contact me in regards to the podcast, you can find me on brianrussick.com. That's spelled BrianRussick.com.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for coming on the show, man. We'll have you back soon.
Sounds good, Kevin. Sounds good.
All right. Catch y'all.